How's it going, everybody? CJ here, back with another video. We're doing a first thoughts today. This is going to be a first thoughts on Obec Heartless Chronologist. Very excited about this card. This card's going to be sweet. So, before we get into it though, if you want to support the channel, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Like this video, comment down below what you're going to do with Obec, if you're going to build a deck, and if so, any cool tech cards that you thought of that I didn't mention, because I'm going to be building this and I'm going to want to have those. Also, we're doing a giveaway. So, you can win a playmat, an Elder Dingus Highlander playmat. Wasn't that awesome? It's pretty sweet. I'll sign it for you too. And you can be featured inside of an episode of CJDH. That's our gameplay series. We'll be doing the game over spell table. You can join us for a game and it'll be on the channel. Isn't that cool? I think that's pretty cool. So, to do that, I got a video. It's linked down below. You can take a look at the end of the video. At the end of this video, go click on that, watch the video. You'll learn how to enter in to win everything. It's really, really easy. So we're going to hop into this. Obec Heartless Chronologist. So it lets you end the turn. Literally, you can tap it and end the turn. But like only if whoever's turn it is lets you. So you're going to be ending your own turn. That's the key to this deck. You're just going to, at the beginning of your end step, you're going to end your turn. You're going to be countering it. So doing that will make it so any end step triggers just evaporate. Like they get countered because the turn is ending. Anything on the stack gets exiled. So it's a very, very strong way to make cards significantly better. So the way I'm thinking about building this deck is reanimators / cheating creatures into play. There's a lot of cards that let you reanimate and then reanimate, give it haste, and then exile at the end of turn. Or create a token that's a copy of it and sacrifice that at the end of turn, stuff like that. But you can cancel the end of turn trigger, so it just sticks around forever. So that's what we're going to be talking about first. You got stuff like Apprentice Necromancer to be able to reanimate something. Cauldron Dance, you can reanimate something and put a creature from your hand into play and keep them in play. Corpse Dance, that is buyback, so it lets you reanimate and keep and do that over and over and over again. Dawn of the Dead, beginning of your upkeep, you can reanimate something. That seems pretty sweet. We got Felden, just tap reanimate. Good. Goryo's Vengeance lets you hit legendary creatures from your graveyard, so that's solid. You got Ilharg, being able to cheat something from your hand into play. That's real nice. You can also with some of these, if like with Ilharg, if it's like an ETB trigger that you want to be able to do over and over and over, like over again, you don't need to end the turn, so it can come back to your hand, so next turn you can get that trigger again if you want to. Macabre Mockery, that lets you snag an opponent's creature from their graveyard, that's nice. Same thing with Puppeteer Click, good cards. Mimic Vat, that's a great one. So like, wait, Puppeteer Click, you can Ilharg it in, steal someone's creature from their graveyard. Well, you can't. Well, yeah, you can stack the trigger so that way the Puppeteer Click returns to your hand, and then you exile the end of turn with the Puppeteer Click trigger for the creature to get exiled on the stack, so that way you keep the creature, so that way you can do that every turn. That's a good little combo. Mimic Vat, whenever a creature dies, you can put it under Mimic Vat and make tokens that last the turn. Being able to make a bunch of tokens with anything cool, that's nice. You got Sneak Attack and Perforos. Obviously, Sneak Attack is the best card in this deck, probably. Perforos is okay, but it only hits red creatures. It's like a maybe card, but Sneak Attack is an auto-include. Whip of Erebos, very similar, reanimating something every turn. Sedri, being able to give all your creatures in your graveyard unearth for 3 mana. Very good. You can just reanimate anything you want for 3 mana. Disgusting. Then you got stuff that you can make tokens with, token copies of cards, like Flame Shadow Conjuring. That's a great one. Just 1 extra mana and you get 2 creatures forever. Heat Shimmer. That's a nice one. That was just reprinted, so it's cheaper now too, so that's good. Hate Mirage, Kiki Jiki, Splinter Twin, Minion Reflector, Sahili Rai, all of these. Just making tokens that last until end of turn, but you're able to keep them around by ending the turn with the triggers on the stack. Next, I just want to talk about good cards in this deck, cards that have very strong synergies. We got stuff like Warrior's Oath and Last Chance and Final Fortune. All of these give you an extra turn, but you would lose the game at the end of the next end step or something. So, you just end the turn with that trigger on the stack, the lose the game trigger on a stack, and that just poof, you don't lose the game. It's Time Walk, red Time Walk, powerful. And with Isochron Scepter, you can stick Last Chance and Final Fortune on it and just have infinite turns. Plus you're in blue, so you can also throw in Dramatic Reversal for an infinite mana combo if you wanted. There's a lot, like, that's an auto include there. That's a great little package. Glorious End, very similar. You're able to end someone else's turn, and then when it gets to your turn, you can get rid of the lose the game trigger. Desolation. This card's really, really cool. So at the end of each turn, each player who tapped a land sacrifices a land. But you can end your turn with that trigger in the stack. So when every one of your opponents, whenever they cast spells at the end of that turn, they have to sacrifice a land. But you don't, because you can get rid of the trigger. I like this card a lot. This seems like a really cool home for this card, because I've never seen this card played before, but it seems very, very good in this deck. You can throw in Dross Harvester. It's just a good way to gain life. Whenever a creature dies, you gain some life, but you would lose 4 life at the end of your turn, but you can just get rid of that. And it's also a 3 mana 4/4, which is okay. Ideas Unbound. That just becomes 2 mana draw 3 cards. Because you can put the discard 3 cards at end of turn. That trigger, you can put that on, you can exile that trigger. So it's just 2 mana draw 3. Good. Next up, we got Mark of the Oni. You can steal a creature for 2 mana, and then the sacrifice trigger, you just throw that on the stack. When it's on the stack, you just exile it. Also very good. Mnemonic Betrayal. This card's cool. So you get to exile all cards from your opponent's graveyard. You can cast those cards this turn, and they spend mana as though it's mana of any color. So it's basically Yawgmoth's Will for your opponent's graveyards. But at the beginning, you have to exile the cards to do it. At the beginning of the next end step, if any of those cards remain exiled, you return to their graveyard, and then you exile Mnemonic Betrayal. You can get rid of the end step trigger, so that way you exile all cards from your opponent's graveyards. You can cast any of them during that turn, but at the end of the turn, they don't get them back. It's just a mass exile card. You can just mass way to exile all opponents' graveyards while having gravy on it, with you being able to cast any cards from them during that turn. That seems like a good card in this deck. Suppress. Target player removes all the cards from their hand from the game. At the end of the turn, those cards go back to their hand. Get rid of that trigger. Your opponent loses their entire hand forever. That hand is just exiled. That's just, it's mean, but it's so good. There's Blizzard Strix, which typically is just like a blink card. It enters the battlefield, you can blink something. But with Blizzard Strix, the way it's worded, that return comes in on the next end step. So, in any card similar to this, you can exile any cards that let you exile any permanent, that doesn't say you control. You can do this with anything that says exile a permanent at the end of turn and return it to play. It's typically only going to be blue ones. The only one I actually found was Blizzard Strix, so there may not be any others. But you can exile that trigger, so that way whatever Blizzard Strix targets is just exiled permanently. Any permanent. Or as long as you control a snow permanent. So you're going to want to play Snowlands. That seems really good. It's just 5 mana, exile a card, and you get a 3/2 that you can just flicker or something and redo over and over again. That's good. That's so good, just to continuously exile stuff. Next up, we got Chandra Acolyte of Flame and Chandra Flamecaller. Both these create tokens that would be sacrificed at the end step. I mean, you can get rid of that trigger, so it just permanently creates tokens. Seems solid. Avaricious Dragon. It's just a good way to increase your card draw. At the beginning of your upkeep, at the beginning of your draw step, you draw an additional card. Nice. And you get rid of the downside by making it so you don't have to discard your hand, thanks to ending the turn. Voyager Staff is similar to Blizzard Strix. You can just pay 3 mana, sacrifice pay 1 for the staff, 2 and sacrifice a staff, exile a creature, and at the beginning of the next end step, it would come back into play, but you counter that trigger, so it's just exile a creature for 3 mana. On a, not repeatable because it gets sacrificed, but if you have a way to recur it, then a repeatable way. Then you got stuff like Zerillion of the Claw. 3 mana, you can search your library for a dragon, put it into play, it gains haste, then you're supposed to remove it from the game, but you can exile that trigger at the end of turn trigger, so it's just 3 mana and tap it, go get any dragon from your deck, it has haste. That's good if you want to throw a lot of dragons in this deck. And then you're going to want to put certain cards in your graveyard. So Corpse Connoisseur, that's a really, really good one in the deck, I believe. Let me double check this. Corpse Connoisseur, enters the battlefield, search your library for a card, put that card in your graveyard if you do shuffle your library. Plus it has Unearth, so you can use the Unearth trigger, that's nice. But it also tutors to your graveyard. Same thing with like Gravebreaker Lamia, you need that tutoring cards to your graveyard. Buried Alive, Entomb. Anything that lets you put cards in your graveyard is good in this deck. Plus you're going to want to have mill cards, stuff like Mesmeric Orb is going to be very powerful in this deck. Anything that says mill cards, like Maddening Cacophony, milling yourself is good. Milling half your library would be awesome. Just don't get hit by Bajuka Bog. So, yeah, I'm not going to talk about like just big dudes that you can throw into the deck. I mean, you can obviously throw in like Ulamagastasis Hunger, Diluvian Primordial, stuff like that. But there's a whole bunch of creatures that you can pick from. This is just like the shell of the deck, and you can... the payoffs, you can just do whatever you want to do. Like, there's so many payoffs that you can do. Grixis has some decent cards in it. Like, you can do the forces. You can throw all 3 forces in the colors. Like, there's a lot. Obec seems very cool. And this deck seems like it's going to be very, very fun and very strong. It seems like it could be a powerful deck. I'm excited to build it. And you'll almost definitely see this deck in a video, in an upcoming video, just because I'm going to end up making this deck pretty quick. So, if you guys enjoyed this video, remember, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like this video. Comment down below what you can do with Obec. If you want to support the channel, any cards that I talk about today, if you want to buy those, buy them through the TCG Player affiliate link down below. That helps. Or you can check us out on Patreon, join us in Discord, get in some games. It's fun. Also, if you want to get into a game, remember, we got the giveaway coming out. We got a giveaway going on. And so, you can win this playmat. You know you want this playmat. You can win that. And you can join us in a video. You can join us in a CJDH video, a gameplay video. And we'll be playing on Spell Table. So, check out that video. That's going to be probably up on the screen somewhere. Probably over here somewhere. So, click on that. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace out, everybody. Make sure you click on that. It might be there, but it's somewhere here, I hope. If it's over here, then I look like an idiot. Click on it. Bye.